what would you say was one of your most difficult challenges after the divorce as a parent?
I would say I was completely invested. Now, I have not dated I've been divorced since 2013. I had a friend or two, read between the lines. I had a
Right,
friend
right,
or
right.
two during that,
Gotcha.
but my daughters never saw me, and they brought it to my attention. I didn't know this. They never
Yeah.
saw me kiss another man, and they have not seen me kiss another man other than their father. And
Wow.
I've been divorced since 2013.
Wow.
The sacrifice of personal time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Wow. Wow.
So,
Yeah.
being married, I was married for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's somebody you see every day. That's your best friend. That's
Yeah.
somebody you talk to all the time. And then there's nothing. And you don't have an outlet because I didn't want sympathy. So I wasn't telling everybody, oh, this is what's going on. And I was in grad school
Yeah.
during my divorce.
Oh wow.
So I would say the biggest difficulty for me was I didn't have someone that I could go to,
Yeah.
or the personal time where, I'm seeing my friends, they're out here dating, they going out to the clubs,
Yeah.
they do. Here I am. No, we got orchestra recitals. We got volleyball games.
Yeah.
We got church. We got family functions. Like I stayed busy because I didn't want to get into that routine of other people coming in.
Yeah.
And then I'm giving less and less and less to my daughters because I realize it's two of them and it's one of me. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments so they can get more of what they need, even though I'm only one person. They
Right.
can get more of what they need from me because there is a parent that isn't here physically.
Yeah. My goodness. Yeah, that makes sense. I get that. And I think for me, as a non-custodial father, right, a non-custodial parent, I think the big challenge for me is just not being able to see him and spend time with him as much as I would like. And I think you have two different mindsets when it comes to that. You have what you know how to do and what another person perceives that you should be doing. And I think a
Right.
lot of time we get our wires crossed when it comes down to that. Sure, everybody can be an armchair quarterback or a backseat driver, right? And tell another person, well, you should have done this and you should be doing that. You should be doing that. But let's be honest, there is no blueprint out there. And trust me, other people are going to say, some people are going to beg to differ. There's no blueprint to parenting. Like what you know about parenting, you generally get it from your parents. And what you didn't get from them, you're probably going to try to fill in the blanks. Or like some of us, look at the Cosby saying, yep, that's what I want to be. Just like Bill Cosby and his wife, right? On the Cosby Show, I'm going to make sure I'm clear on that. So, we figure out parenting en route. And let's be honest, all of us as parents have made mistakes. And I think a lot of the times when it comes down to it, sure, being a non-custodial parent, I was raised to believe that men we're providers. We provide and we protect. So for me, work. In 24 years in the Army, that's what I did. And I got very good at playing Army. I really did. But here's what that looked like. Going to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, coming home at 7 p.m. in the evening. And by that time, kids are getting ready for bed, whatever that looks like. And honestly, at that particular point in time, things weren't good with us.
Right.
She'd be on one side of the room doing her schoolwork because she was a teacher, doing her, prepping for school the next day, and I'm over here just doing whatever, Facebook or TV or whatever that looked like. But and for me, like I said, I have to go back to what I'm saying, just missing the opportunities that I didn't understand that I was squandering back then because I was working all the time.
Right.
And so that's just it. And I wanted to talk about it from that side, the other side as well, because I think it's important to understand for those men out there who still have that ability to have your children in the home, take the time and spend time with them now. You know what I'm saying? I can't stress that enough, because here's what that looks like. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks. It only matters what you feel. And then what you feel, what you need to do is analyze that and then say, okay, wait, I can do more. And if you can say I can do more, then do more. You know what I'm saying? Don't just say, okay, well, I'm doing enough, because that's going back to the whole job analogy. You know, do more, spend more time with the children, take them places, do these things. Because if it comes to the point of divorce and they're gone, you're going to miss it. Trust me, I do. So that was my difficult part. And I thank you for sharing that with me, because I can only imagine, you know, you don't want to give them the wrong perception when it comes down to, you know, how to handle, how to deal with the opposite sex. But here's the other side of that. Like you said, your daughter said they haven't seen you with another man. And so in their mind, they're thinking like, you know what? And, you know, this may not necessarily be the case, right? But in their mind, they're thinking that, well, maybe there's a chance. You know, maybe there's a possibility.
No, they don't think that. No, they don't think that. Fair enough. No, this is awesome. And again, I just want to make sure that, you know, we understand that we're not bashing one side or the other. This isn't an attack against male. This isn't an attack against females. This is simply a conversation of awareness. And if you can listen to it, just consider it. That's it. That's all we're asking. Just consider it. Because the potential of what can be for those children depends on you having the ear just to hear what someone else is saying besides the only people that you talk to. And it's the reason those are the only people that we talk to. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I've talked long enough. Next question. Because you are at a sense of awareness that I'm just, if I had hair, it would be back here right now. You're blowing my hair back. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. When did you reach that point? What was your pivot point and say, hey, you know what? I love my girls more than I hate their father. When did that happen?
It happened in the beginning, actually. You know, there was a period where I cried in the car on the way to work. I cried during my lunch breaks when I was doing my homework for grad school. I cried on the way home, and I cried in the shower.
Yeah.
And at that point, I tried to figure out, how can I do this? I'm hurting, but I need to be present for them. Like, how? And even though, you know, my oldest daughter, she looks exactly like her dad. So, you know, I'm looking at this face and I can't hate it.
Yeah.
I love my daughters.
Of course.
So how do I get past this? And I got to do this quickly because they were 7 and 8 at the time, or 8 and 9. So it was in the beginning. I never talked back. I've never spoken ill against their father to them. And I decided that in the beginning because I've seen so many kids who they grew up hating the other parent that wasn't there based off what the custodial parent told them. I'm not saying that it wasn't true what they told them,
right? But
that's not a place, and that's not something that you need to be telling them, because now you're tainting the waters for them to be able to love properly.
Yeah.
So I decided I was not going to be that parent in the beginning. It wasn't like later on. No, it was immediate. This is what I have to do. And I'm going to be the best I can to these girls to show them no matter what anybody does to you, you do not change who you are at your core. I wasn't a nasty person before the divorce. Yeah. I'm not going to be nasty now. I'm not going to give you that and say, oh, well, look how she is now. No. I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So I had to do this from the beginning. This wasn't something that developed over time. It was a choice immediate. Wow. This is what has to happen.
Wow. This is again, amazing. I mean, amazing, because I can only imagine, because you started off by saying you cried in the car, you cried in the shower, you know, things of that nature. And so just the emotional struggle, fighting through the emotions, understanding what right looks like, but this is how I feel. And I like the fact that you brought to the table that you look at your daughter and you see him. Because that's what our children are. They are like literally little images of, you know, us. One may look more like the other, so forth and so on, but you can literally look at a child and see the parent in them. And man, I so love what you said there, because you said you did it in the beginning. And that is a testament of strength. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, you hear people talk about strength, and that is strong. Like, no hands down, no questions asked, no sugarcoating. That is strength at its finest. And you did that from the very beginning, man. Hats off to you and kudos to you, because I can only imagine how difficult that was. I'm not going to.
Extremely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was a little upset when I got divorced.
And I don't want people to think, well, she must have not. No, I'm crying because I'm battling with myself.
Right.
Because I don't want to be kind. I want to tell my daughters what happened. I want to tell them what he did or what he didn't do. But I'm crying and I'm purging out this anger and this hatred, really. And I'm replacing it with the love that I have for my daughters every single day. And, going to work out. Every class I'm completing, I'm thinking this is going to be better for me and my daughters. I got to move him out of the way here because he's not here. So I got to make sure that I'm positioning myself now so my future self and my daughter's future selves are going to benefit from it. And I have to tell you, we have a mutual friend. She'll tell you, these girls, I know, I can see the sacrifice. I can see every time I look at them that the sacrifices that I made not to bash, to keep going, to be kind, to say, call your dad, text your dad, do X, Y, and Z. How kind they are now. You wouldn't even know if you asked that they came from a single parent home.
Right.
They just don't. It's not typical of how they are. And everyone says the same thing. These girls are so kind and sweet and loving. Well, you're seeing what I put in.
Right.
So it's well worth it. It was well worth being quiet, being silent like the G in lasagna. Silence.
I love it. Now, so I got to ask, and I hope you don't mind me asking. You said you can literally see, and I'm just going to call it the fruits of your labor, because that was laborious for what you did to get to the point where you realize that I need to do it now. I want to dislike them. I want to hate them. So the fruits of your labor, you say you can literally see, and you mentioned the kindness. Like, do you sometimes just sit back and be like, man, it is so, do you guys talk about that? Like, man, it's just so well worth it. I can only imagine for me. Like, I'll be on the phone with you once a week. Thank you. Like, do you guys share that? I mean, I'm curious. That has to be a good news story.
Unfortunately, no. I have not gotten a thank you. I haven't gotten an apology, but I'm okay with that because I know what I'm doing and I know that he sees it. Yeah. So even if I don't get it, I never did it for him to say thank you.
Yeah.
So if I don't get one, I'm okay. I'm solid over here.
I got you.
Because I can see it, all the hard work. My daughter, she ended up getting a scholarship to go to college, volleyball and academic. And then the younger one, she's going into a technical school to do nursing certification before she moves on to nursing. Both 3.0 or higher GPA. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to say thank you.
Yeah.
The thank you's right there. But I will say, what he did was, he's in the military. He gifted both of them 12 months of his post 9/11. Good. So that is in line with what I wanted for them. I didn't want them to work in college because I wanted them to be solely dedicated to education. Yeah. So they know the rules. When I'm in school, there's no working.
Absolutely.
In the summer, get you a job, but when you go to school, your job is school. So because he did that, I'm grateful, and I believe that was a part of the Lord, like, blessing, saying, because you did X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna make sure that your daughters are taken care of also while they're in school.
Absolutely, and some people may not receive what I'm about to say, and I understand that, and that's okay. I also think the other part of that, like on his side, he greatly appreciates the relationship that he has with them that was actually filtered through you. And so as a token of that appreciation, the love that he has for them, wanting them to succeed and being, as much as he can possibly do from his position, right? Because like you said, you've done that. You pulled a heavy load. Like, you've put in the work, you've fought back the tears and the crying and the pain and things of that nature for their sake. And so it makes sense. It makes perfect sense why he would do that. I would have done it too if that was the case. Yeah, this is just such a, I mean, I hope this is in your book. Please tell me what your book is. I'm gonna buy it. Seriously. just so that you guys know, before we got on here, she took off her cape and hung it behind so you guys couldn't see it, because she is truly a superwoman. I gotta make sure I say that. So
thank you.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you for sharing this with us, because I think this is awesome, and this is what we need to hear in our community. We don't have to bicker and fight and fuss because our relationship didn't work. It happens. I'm sorry. But this is where we are. And we got children who depend on us. So can we put ourselves aside for them? So I think this is what this is all about. And so I appreciate you being honest and open and sharing your story with us to help us to understand that there is hope. That's really what it's all about. Hope for those children. That's it.